I've been missing a lot of the news because all weekend long my internet's been off and on, which is irritating because that autopay is on and on.
These are dream rules. This is someone else. I'm not myself. No.
What's up, y'all? I don't know if I should be saying hello sunshine because this might be the beginning of my video or if I'm continuing. And I'll tell you why. Because, excuse all this noise for a second. Because, oh, you want to tussle with me. It won't lay down. It'll lay down when I put something on it. But anyway, I don't know if this is the beginning or a continuance of the video because I have been filming. Like, okay, so one thing, I just keep making noise. Hold on. Why am I stripped? Because I'm tired. That's why. Okay, let me tell you. So, as I talk to you now, it is Monday night. It's like 9:07 at night. I'm not sure if my microwave is in shot or not, and you can see the time. But anyway, it is 9 o'clock at night. I just got back from my evening walk, which is why I'm so tired. Worked all day. And listen, okay, well, finish setting that up. One thing before the next, Kimberly. So anyway, did my walk. Ooh, that was a really thick one. And worked all day. Did I say that already? Yeah, she tired. I think I did. And I'm sitting here like, it's pretty much Tuesday because it's Monday night. And I started looking at to edit some of the footage. I already explained that I wasn't going to upload tonight. And I was looking at the footage like, okay, let's focus on tomorrow. Here's the thing. Here is the thing. Over the weekend, I actually set my hair. And I was going to do a roller set video. Excuse me for a second. Oh, I'm still in shot. Okay, I can keep talking. But I was going to do a roller set video. I looked at the footage of that roller set video. Hello, sunshine. Ooh, I've been talking too much. I've been on the phone most of the evening because I haven't had internet. It keeps coming in and then it goes out. And at one point, I was like, do I owe money? But I'm on auto pay. I ain't gonna lie, once upon a time, this was back when I lived in a different part of the city and we had Time Warner cable. It was crazy. It was also before, at least I had auto pay. I don't know if auto pay existed, but I definitely didn't have it. And it was so sad. We had one of those little mailboxes that the mail carrier would drop the mail into the slot and the slot fed immediately into our home. How do I always forget clips, y'all? Wait, I don't think I did. I think the bag is in here. Oh, yay, look at me. Only because I accidentally left it in here do I have the clips. But anyway, my daughter used to love getting the mail when she was little. And it got to a point where those Time Warner cable bills would come in and she knew red envelope meant, ooh, I need to hurry up and pay. And she would tell me, Mama, the envelope's red. It was so pitiful. But yeah, those were the days. I don't know. I've definitely lived through some broke times before, and I thank God that I'm not there anymore. But I will say the price of gas going up so much. I needed to get some more gas this weekend because I'm like at half a tank. My daughter is so funny. She said she tries to always get her gas at half a tank. I definitely do that in the wintertime, but I do it because, I'm just scared to run out and it's too doggone cold. She does it because it hurts less to pay for half a tank of gas than a whole tank of gas. Oh, she tickles me sometimes, that little girl. But anyway, I do need gas. I'm gonna have to remember to make sure I don't end up running for it in the morning. Last week I was so thrown off. I hadn't meal prepped. I hadn't done any of the things I really needed to do. So today I've been busy. Again, don't have any internet. Might as well stay busy. But I've been doing a little bit of meal prep and all that stuff. I didn't set up the camera to show it because, y'all have seen me do that enough. The only thing y'all saw, well, first of all, I lost footage already, but coming back from the lost footage, y'all saw me juicing. And I haven't done a whole heck of a lot today, but the little bit I did, that's pretty much it. I just told y'all. And I didn't like it. So it was just too much on the negative side and all of that. But I will say I have seen teenagers roaming around and, just getting into stuff that they ought not get into, unfortunately. But that's less a race thing and more so just, in my opinion, a sign of the time, because I see kids at school talking in a way and doing things that they absolutely have no business doing. I wouldn't even dreamed about it in my 20s, and here they are doing stuff in middle school that, if I would have tried it, I'd have woke up dead the next day with only a vague memory of my mother coming toward me. Just to give you a little context, I was talking about how as a Black woman, I don't particularly feel safe in a lot of spaces. And it's coming from the tragic loss of life in Shreveport. And, just to give you a little quick background in case you somehow missed it, I'm talking about the man who ended the lives of 8 individuals. And it just, so that felt unsafe. And it just seems like there keep being headline news of Black women being harmed. And it's starting to feel very much unsafe to me. And not even starting, because just like any woman I've grown up with, put the keys between your hands and how you defend yourself and always be on the lookout and da-da-da-da. And a whole bunch of things that men just don't know. Men never have to experience. And I think in a lot of cases, some men may not even be as harmful as, certainly not this guy, but they don't know how their ways affect us. They don't know that their persistence can come off as scary to us. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, they just don't understand. And so that causes angst and stuff for women. So I mentioned that. I also talked about how in a lot of places and spaces I go in, my failure is not only anticipated, but if I'm not failing quick enough, fast enough, hard enough, bad enough, whatever enough, I've been in settings where people have actually tried to make it happen for me. Case in point, I remember being on a team with a couple of other teachers who immediately just decided they are not going to like me no matter what, period. So they started talking about how I was a poor teacher, and one of them, the cruelest of all. And luckily the mark missed, because I've told you before, I'm a person who compartmentalizes a lot. So my work life and my personal life are very much separate to me. If I go to work and I happen to make a friendship or something, that's great. But my purpose is not to go to work to make friends. It's just not. I don't sit around generally telling them my personal business and all of that. That stuff don't happen for me. But this particular woman literally went around to different people and told them, hey, if you make friends with her, associate with her, I take it as an offense. You're choosing sides. Literally is what she told them. You're choosing sides, which is actually workplace harassment. Whole nother thing. And I could have delved into that, but the problem was the other teacher with whom she worked was much younger. To go after one, I would have, hurt the career of the other. I ain't so sure I shouldn't have, but whatever. So anyway, I've been in spaces where people have hoped that I failed. I've been in personal relationships, actually with men who were in competition with me, and that started feeling kind of strange and unsafe for me. So I was kind of talking about that in the video, and I'm giving a Cliff Notes version of it now. But when I look back at the footage, it felt too negative for me to even want to put out there in the world. So I was like, nope, not gonna do that. So there goes my Monday video that I was gonna post. I was gonna do a whole sit down. Y'all have seen me before, sit down, do my roller set. Speaking of my roller set, let me explain my hair. So when I go walking, I like to put it in Bantu knots a little bit just to kind of let it air out so it doesn't get all sweaty and all the things. I kind of sweat around my hip, forehead area, but I band that up and whatever. Okay, so that's that on that. That would have been my Monday video. Didn't like the footage. In fact, y'all, there is a lot of footage. I was texting the Seasoned Sisters earlier today, and I was like, I'll ever just look back at your footage and go, girl, I ain't talking about nothing. I'm not putting that out there. That's kind of what happened. Well, negatively, that's what happened on my video that I would have posted today. So now I go to work. Earlier today, I'm having lunch. I sit down and I'm like, yeah, I'll talk with them a little bit, footage, catch up, talk about, the things.
All right, happy Monday, y'all. I put the mic a little bit lower, hoping that y'all can't hear me chewing. But, chew, I got to. I'm starving. This is my first time making a bowl like this with sweet potatoes, so I wasn't knowing what to expect. But I was afraid the taste of the sweet potato would come through and kind of mess up the other flavors. It didn't. I've been missing a lot of the news because all weekend long my internet's been off and on, which is irritating because that auto pay is on and on. They talk about the expected rise of gas prices. I'm like, God, dog. Thank goodness for stay-at-home workers, and for me, I'll be off over the summer. They almost make it sound like you're about to start working to fill your gas tank. Like half of one check is going to go to the gas, and the rest of might go to some of the groceries. The other check, you know what I mean? Like if you get 2 checks a month. I think before, we were all budgeting gas just like the light bill or the whatever bill. They make it sound like gas is about to slide into its own thing, like mortgage or rent, something higher. But weekly.
So I look at that footage and I also didn't like it. It felt like I was just talking about nothing, right? I didn't want to do a lot of the rambling. So I'm like, okay, that footage is not going to happen. I'll even tell you this. Was that Saturday? Girl, the days are running together for real. But whenever I left Costco, that was Saturday. When I was going to Costco, rather, and had just left Mom's, I was feeling kind of down a little bit, but I didn't expound on those feelings of me feeling down. And what I was feeling down about was they had a couple more residents. Well, first of all, visiting my mother has its highs and its lows. Like I like seeing her. I so appreciate still having her because a lot of people don't have their moms. So I definitely appreciate her, but it's also like seeing a part of my mother die every time I go. Like with more of her memory loss and all of that, the woman I visit is less my mom and more my mother. Like it's just kind of hard to explain. Like as she doesn't remember various things that bond a mother and daughter, that bond doesn't feel broken because I'm carrying a memory, but it hurts, it's bothersome. Let's just say that. So anyway, not just that, but when we were sitting, in the nail area for her fingernails, I kind of look around because I heard one of the workers say something about, oh, you're safe. She was talking to another woman who was there and she was worried. And she was like, oh, I just, I don't want anything to show. I don't want anything to show. She's already wearing a long skirt and she's pulling it down. I don't want anything to show. And the worker was like, you're safe here because, there are no men here anymore. And I thought about it. I said, shut up. Mr. So-and-so, such and such. Like there were 3 different men who lived in that memory care department and 0 of them are there now. I hadn't even realized I hadn't seen them. And here's why. A lot of times when I go to visit Mom, and she's lived in different residents now, but when I've gone to visit her at the various spots, the men are always kind of in the background. There are games being played. The men don't participate. Not so much, well, they might play a little bit of bingo, but like the craftivities and things that they do, the men aren't participating in that. Visitors, like if we come to the common area, a lot of times, sometimes I might go to my mother's apartment and visit her, but a lot of times we're just out and about in the common area. The men are somewhere there, but they're not being visited. And it's like, I think that's kind of a result of the lifestyle that they may have chosen. Like maybe they weren't as active in their children's lives as they could have, would have, should have been. Maybe they had, there's a whole lot of videos about that, about how men who aren't active fathers, weren't good husbands, things like that, kind of get pushed in the corner. And that's not a lie, folks. I promise you, that's 100% true. You literally, when I say they're in the background, that's where they are. They may be sitting at a window in a wheelchair, nobody's visiting them, and they look gnarled up. And then you'll look at the women who are their age and sometimes a lot older, and they're moving. Come on, Margaret, let's go walking. Let's do this. They're doing laps. They're doing the exercises and the stuff, and the men are just kind of gnarled up. But anyway, miserable looking life. And I struggle to kind of feel bad for them. But I know so many women whose fathers, I know a lot of people actually, whose fathers just weren't in their lives. And it's like, oh, this is what happens. That's consequence meeting the life that you had when you were a kid, when you was that player, when you were, whatever it was you were doing. So anyway, as I'm leaving, I felt a little bit down I don't know if that came across in the video, but not so much so that I didn't go through and talk about, hey, we're heading to Costco. In fact, that's part of why I was in Costco. Just mindlessly wandering aisles that I knew darn well I wasn't gonna buy stuff in, but that kind of was my retail or shopping therapy. That oven ain't warmed up yet? Okay. Cause it's 9:18, y'all. And I gotta get my butt up and go to work in the morning. Why am I up making bacon? I wanted it. I was like, well, wouldn't a couple of pieces of bacon be good? And it don't make sense to cook just a couple of pieces. So I'm like cooking all the bacon. There we go. And then I'll have it all set and ready. But anyway, didn't like the roller set video, turned around, felt like I was just rambling when I was talking, excuse me for stepping out for a second, during lunch. And then tomorrow night, I might as well say tonight, because it feels like Tuesday already, but tomorrow night, I'm gonna go to a wine tasting with a couple of the girls. So it's like, well, when am I gonna get ready to do my footage and video and stuff for Tuesday? Because at work, I cannot edit. Girl, I got so many blocks and stuff on my computer. Can't nobody break through that stuff but the kids. The kids know how to go through all of that and get to whatever website and stuff that they want to do. Now, they might get flagged. Even my little kids get flagged. The people will come in and they're like, oh, little Johnny was on such and such website. I'll look over. I just got the boy to stop chewing crayons last week. I promise you, he does not know what website he's on. He has no idea. No idea. And they're like, I know, but it got a flag, so we always have to come and report it. But in high school, when I was, them kids was on, we ain't gonna talk about it. But, and if they wasn't on the website itself, they were making videos. I just have to put that out there. Because in case y'all got some high school kids that, especially the girls who might be doing things that they don't want published later, I'm just gonna tell it. So I'm doing, y'all know I volunteered at the high school this summer. I say volunteer because I had to do it as part of my schoolwork and I did not get paid. I did not. It was hard to show up on time for that. Y'all, it's hard to show up for free. It's already bad enough I'm showing up for the low as a teacher's salary, but for free, oh yeah, that hurt. But anyway, I hear this sound. I'm doing cafeteria lunch duty and I hear this beep. And I was like, oh, that's a misplaced sound. You know how you hear all the chatter and another person was even talking to me, but you still always have your ear tuned in, kind of like a mother. Like when your house goes quiet, you know something's wrong. But I heard that beep, and I was like, that's a misplaced sound right there. And I'm looking around scanning to see what it is. A girl had bust a boy, would have been upside his head, but he blocked it. And as I looked around, I just saw him moving. Like I could see his head move down and him move back. And I was like, ding, ding, there's the action that also doesn't fit with that sound I just heard. So I didn't see her strike him, but clearly heard it, and I see him moving back. And I get over there, and she's raising it, getting ready to hit him again. And she did. Well, I didn't make it over there yet. I'm on my way. And she did. So she hits him again. Bing! Another sound. I don't know how it didn't break his arm. Like it sounded really, really wrong. Y'all know how hard a Stanley Cup is, and you know how hard bone is. Bing, bing. Both sounds. So next, when I get over there, she's raising her arm again, because I'm like, this boy ain't gonna block but so long. He's backing up, and there's benches and stuff. You know how the old lunch benches were? Y'all were in high school. So he's backing up to that, and I'm like, oh, one more strike, she got him, you know, or he's gonna fall, da-da-da-da. We're separating him. Come to find out, I might have moved a little bit slower had I known while she was beating him. They had their intimate time, and he was posting it. He had a hidden camera, could have been his cell phone, I don't know, but he had it, the footage, and he was showing it, talking about it at school. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's something we never even thought about or had to, like, it's terrible. So it's starting very early for girls, and she was highly upset. Like, we talked with her, she thought, that's all she could say. I thought he loved me. I thought he loved, you know, it was terrible. It was heartbreaking even, but that's kind of a sign of the times. But anyway, all of that to say, going back to my video of when I was doing my roller set, I'm talking a lot in detail. I didn't talk about that, but I'm talking a lot in detail about many settings, places, and times where I did not feel safe or protected or any of that. I've been pulled over by a cop, and one of my many times I've been pulled over during driving. And granted, I was with someone who engaged in illicit activity and things like that. Let's just put that out there. But the cops' search of me, highly inappropriate. Highly, highly, highly inappropriate. Fingers lingered in places it should not have. And I was a very young girl. I mean, I'm not a girl, I wasn't 12, but I was like 18, 19 years old. And this is my interaction with someone who's supposed to protect and serve me. So at no time have I ever felt like, ooh, if I'm in danger or if something scary, I should call a cop. Cops are scary for me. They genuinely are. Like, that's just the sad truth of it. If you know the history of cops in Kansas City, it's not going so great. Even now, we have a lawsuit that's going on for an area in Westport. And I've experienced the stuff that they're talking about in this area. So it's like a RICO case where they, as a collective, they being several white business owners and such, have gotten together and decided, hey, we're gonna make sure Black people cannot have businesses here. Y'all can patronize here, but you can only patronize so much. So the lawsuit is talking about how after a quota of us, after a certain amount of us, whatever you wanna call it, have gotten into a place they're like, ooh, it's getting too Black, they'll start cranking up the country music, they'll stop playing R&B and all of the stuff that maybe they think we liked in an effort to drive us out. The lawsuit also talks about, and they have people who have stepped forward, whistleblowers and all of that, who have stepped forward and said, yes, this is the case. This is why it is a RICO case. But anyway, of how they would literally harass us. We were young, walking around, so it's been going on for decades and decades, but we'd be walking around, cops are just harassing us or following us, things like that. Talking about how we would fit the general description of a person who, and then they would just come up with whatever crime that they would come up with. There was also incidents where people would actually have an argument or a scuffle, and the cops or the people on beat were directed to escalate it if it was a Black person involved. However, if and when it was white people involved, they would de-escalate it and talk it down. And I know that to be true because I actually went to a high school where it was not predominantly people who looked like me. When I tell you there were drug busts, kids got caught with stuff in their lockers, kids doing things on site that they had no business doing. I'd be coming home telling my mama, you finna see it? Because, you know, she had moved me out to the suburb and I didn't want to really go. I wanted to stay where I was with my friends, and I'm trying to tell them it ain't all that you think. It ain't peaches and cream over here. Yep, they have crime and they do stuff. They just as hood as us. They just watch. You're gonna see it. I'm turning on the TV. Yep, it's gonna be on the news. Watch. Yep, girl, it never was. It never was. And I mean, they wasn't just busted for weed and cigarettes and stuff. They was busted for the real deal. Never was on TV. But, you know, you see the school where I used to go, where my mother had moved me out, let anything happen, a fight, scuffle, and it was on the news. So this isn't my imagination. Again, this is a whole RICO case. Who is that? I don't really watch him. Roland S. Martin. They're literally talking about the lawsuit of it in Kansas City on the Westport area. And I'm just sitting there nodding my head when, okay, so pitiful. I haven't had my internet over the weekend. You know, we had the tornado stuff go on, and so my internet's been real sketchy. And I hadn't had it. My girlfriend FaceTimed me and she was like, look, here it is. Remember how they used to do us at Westport? Well, they got a whole case on it now. We like, let it be a civil lawsuit. Oh yeah, I ain't got no proof. But that is how they used to do us. But anyway, we're FaceTime and I'm looking at it through her because I didn't have the internet to watch my doggone stuff. And I said, yeah, that's very much all the stuff that we knew. We knew it. We talked about it. Nobody did anything. Like nothing ever came. Well, how could anything come of it if it was the cops themselves that was doing it too? So yeah, that's why it's crazy. I have deleted a comment or two. I forgot what video where I was talking about, yeah, in my lifetime I've probably been pulled over. I ballparked it about 30 or so times. They did not believe me. Well, here's how it works. If I don't get pulled over but 2 times since I've been driving since I was 16, I'm 50 now. If I don't get pulled over but twice a year, the math's out. 30 was actually a nice conservative number because, I mean, some of the times I got pulled over basically for driving in a neighborhood that maybe they felt I didn't fit in, or driving in a vehicle that maybe they felt I shouldn't have. Like it's, you name it, I've been pulled over for it. Now, I did get pulled over that time last year, and I was honest, I was speeding. I tend to speed a lot. Speeding is not what I get pulled over for. No, they pulled me over for some dumb junk like making a left turn. Because I know once I get into certain areas, like if I'm on an open road or, you know, where there's no lights and the speed limit is like 35, it'd be hard to do that 35 when 50 is comfortable. It'd be hard to do that 35 when 45 or so is comfortable. Technically, I'm still speeding, right? But once I get to areas where, you know, if I'm shopping in a high dollar area, if I'm on a Westport or something like that, I know to slow it way down, to use my turn signal, to do all the things. And that's the stuff that they claim, oh, you didn't use your turn signal. Oh, you didn't come to a complete. Yes, I did. Yes, I absolutely did. I know I did. But yeah, I'm starting to sound too negative on this one. I mess around and scrap this too. No, I'm not. But I tell you what, I feel like I am definitely my own greatest critic when it comes to the stuff I talk about and all of that. Like when I'm watching myself in editing, I'm like, ooh, girl, you don't need to make that facial expression. Ooh, girl, you got your hands up in the video and you ain't did your nails. Ooh, girl, and still ain't, because I got one more little paper I say little, but I got one more multi-page paper I'm gonna knock out, and then I'm gonna do my nails again. But all of that to say, between the footage I've deleted, the footage I haven't liked, tomorrow being Tuesday and I'm going to a wine tasting, when would I have time to edit? I won't have a video tomorrow either. I guess I'll, and then Wednesday I'm back in class. I need to get my life together. And it isn't a thing of, I don't know, I'm not worried about being perfect at all by any stretch of the imagination as it comes to my footage, but I don't want to be that negative Nancy, that, you know, all types of things. And again too, I ain't even going there, but I want to have something of something. I want to have something of substance to talk to y'all about. I don't want to just be, yeah, girl. So I got me these gloves, girl. Y'all like these gloves? Huh? Y'all like these pink gloves? Yeah. Oh, I don't want to do that. So, again, I know I am my own greatest. Well, I say that, but some of y'all used to come through with criticism hard and heavy. But luckily, I don't face as much of that anymore. Thank goodness. I think those people have just either been blocked or just gone by the wayside. But anywho, all of that to say, I'm not knowing when I'm gonna post again, and I feel so terrible about that. I'm still vlogging every day, but I'm not uploading, and I'm not keeping the footage. I don't know. It's giving Wednesday at best, and then Thursday we're gonna be on live again. So do I want to upload the same day we're doing a live? Yeah, I guess so. Because you know what? The weird thing is, I'm a person who, when people have lives in general, I'm not a live person as much as I am a vlog person. Like I want to see different synopsis of a person's life. So yeah, I guess I will still upload then. But anyway, all of that is explaining why I haven't been doing what I should be doing. Right about now though, I'm about to finish cooking up this bacon, and as soon as it's done, I'm going my butt to bed because I did my walking and my foot is tired. I'm tired. Good morning, sunshine. We are getting ready to head over to the W2. Trying to figure out if I want an energy drink for today. Oh, I need to pick up, I got a package. Excuse me. Need to get that off the porch. Might as well pick up the scissors. But yeah, look at this foolishness here. Okay, so I got, look, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna take this box to work. I wonder if it's too tall for what I'm thinking. But anyway, I got this package, and I got this one. I'm sorry, what? When Amazon start delivering like this? This is, now at first they were giving me some little crumpled plastic bag that would put stuff in there, which gives me the used vibe, but now this is it. This is the outside envelope. And this is a skirt I got my mother. It better be right. See, it's tripping. She, don't laugh, y'all. She's still into little long skirts. Yeah, this is her style right about now. With her little self. But yeah, that's, all right, whatever. And this second one, this should be my little floor lamp that I got. I know, I went to At Home. Oh, this ain't my floor lamp. Why they, oh, wait, is it? Oh, okay, it is. Because I was about to say, they put another skirt I got her in here. I guess they did it at 2 different times, 2 different places, whatever. We're gonna cut this one up in 2. If we return it, too bad. After the way y'all gave it to me now, I gotta clean my counter off. Oh yeah, that'll be nice, a little heather gray. This one's got a little more weight. Because you know, as they get older, they just about stay chilly. All right, and then my lamp that I don't have time to open, so I guess I'll do that later. But yeah, we're gonna take this box to work, take my lunch to work, take my tail to work. I'm just taking my address and stuff off. Kids stay asking me for my number. I'm like, why do you need my number? Ain't like you can call, you ain't got a phone. Lie. Yeah, they do have phones. They do too have phones. You would not think a kindergartner, well, I guess y'all know. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of them kindergartners, they got phones now, excuse me. I was just about 30 before I got my first cell phone. Okay, so we'll take this to work. I need to grab this, some drinks. I think I will take in the laundry. I'll see y'all in a minute.
All right, so we are, I was gonna say we about on schedule, but I'm behind a slow driver that keeps hitting their brakes. But we're on our way to the W2, as you can see. I was talking about how we have a theme. We have a camping theme. And the idea was that, you know, we dress as campers and all of that stuff. But I ain't want to today. Usually I do the themes and all of that stuff, but I'll let the room do the dressing for me today. All right, so I got that Amazon box from home. And girl, if you see hesitation on my face and it look like I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I don't know what I'm doing. I am not even gonna pretend I do. But one of my coworkers, she's younger, she showed me something that she had on TikTok. So I was like, okay, bet, I'm gonna do that. I can do hard things. Why she ain't even doing it? She just showed it to me. She was like, yeah, when I thought about it, I said, never mind. Well,
She told me that this morning. So I already got the stuff. I already got it in my mind. Kimberly, you didn't get a round one. I wasn't even paying attention. I messed around and got rectangular. Girl, because a round would have, and then it could have, but you know what? Supposed to be able to lay it over. Did I tear a hole in it already? You know what, actually, look at God. By it being a rectangle, the kids still get a tent-ish idea, but they still have workspace. You know what I mean? Because I don't trust their little tails up under there. We writing love letters and stuff already. No, I don't trust them under there. They mess around, be kissing or something. So I think that might work. We're just going to do it like this. And you get the idea that it's a tent, right? I mean, use your kindergarten brain and imagination. It looked tenty-ish. You know, it don't even matter because guess what? That's what we doing. We going with that. I might have. So I'm gonna just put a little tape down here on the bottom. That way the tent doesn't keep moving all around. And then I'll put a little tape at the top of the tent to make it stay in place. And I'll do that on all the different little groups around the room. We'll see how that turns out. I think they'll be excited. We're our own worst critics, right? They'll go with it. This is probably one of my worst looking projects. I swear my stuff be cuter than this. This is what I get for trying to follow somebody else's idea. So we tape that in place. There we go. And now that doesn't move as much. It would be even stiffer if I had that doggone packing tape. Ain't nothing like the getter getting got, I tell you the truth. Got me for my cleaning supplies, now they got me for this. That's all right. Yeah, that way their work can be under, their computer can be under. But baby, we ain't having all these romantic notions of them being under. We're not gonna do that. And I'll just tape that on the top and I'll do that to my other groups as well. All right, just wanted to pop back in and show y'all a little bit of a day in the life of a kindergarten teacher. Oh, Lordy. And that's why I wanted to go a little earlier. But you know what? It's going to work out that I don't. Because that's going to give me time. Sometimes when you decorate the room and stuff, the kids get a little too amped. So that'll give me time to get it all together in preparation of that anyway. Oh yeah, I was talking about me speeding last night, but this car in front of me got to make sure I don't do that. Absolute sure. Let me not scratch up on my head too much. It didn't quite come out as fluffy as it should have. I attribute that to me walking, but it's better than having to actually do my hair after going walking. Somebody was talking about a pixie, and I've had a pixie before, but to me, pixies aren't quite as low maintenance as one would think. Like, at least for my hair texture, I would have to relax my hair with greater frequency. I think I was relaxing it probably every 3 to 4 weeks, to make sure it laid down and did all the things. I would have to put a lot of foam wrap on it, and then I'd lay it down, and then I'd have to do the wraps and dry it. And like, if I wasn't talking to y'all when I do my roller sets, when I talk to you, it probably takes me close to 20 minutes, but if I wasn't talking to y'all, it'd be more like 15. Slap some rollers on, and then go about the business of my day. I might walk around, let it air dry. Believe it or not, if I'm tired enough, I can sleep on them rollers. Go to bed, wake up, my hair is done. Or I gotta comb it out, but that's about it. Whereas with my pixie, even after I did the mold, I would have to, fine tune it with a curling iron and all that stuff. They didn't have the flat irons as skinny as they do now. When I had a pixie, I had a little, probably as big as my pinky, curling iron. And I would have to kind of play around with it a little bit. But yeah, I love a pixie. I loved a pixie on me because I have a kind of big face and it would fit. Speaking of face, I was mad. I'm looking at my Fit Me powder, especially around my eyes, and my Fit Me don't fit me. Not today. I guess from me walking and getting out in the sun, even though I wear sunscreen, I'm getting my summer color already, and it's just April. Man, that was a huge pothole. They need to do something about that. But, we going to keep it moving. Tonight, my friends and I were determined to go to this wine tasting because they're doing the pass-arounds, meaning they're going to have hors d'oeuvres and all of the things, darling. And it usually packs a bigger crowd. Not that hoity-toity crowd. I don't even know why I'm trying to use my hoity-toity voice, because it don't be that. Who sent me that? Did Kaylani send me that? I think she did, but somebody who knows me, sent me a meme of how people act when they go to Cooper's Hawk and how everybody's their friend and all of that stuff. And I was cracking up because I was like, yeah, I've gotten a couple of numbers, exchanged a couple of numbers with people, because we like, yeah, we're going to meet up again. We're going to do this and that. And sometimes we have, come on now. You don't want to go? I'll go for you. I don't be having time to beg people at a four-way stop. That's annoying. But annoying, I should say. But anyway, yeah, that was a funny meme, only because it was true. You ever notice some of the funnier things in life are funny because they're true? It was some black women laughing it up, high-fiving, sipping wine, and yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So that's what I'm thinking tonight will be more like. This card, they finna get on my nerves. And I want to turn. My turn is up ahead, but I want to jump in front of them and then turn. That annoys the mess out of me too. But nothing like stop to turn or that left turn from way back yonder. Move up and then make your left turn. But we're not gonna do road rage. We're not having a road rage session. And I really don't even have road rage. Like I said, I think everybody makes mistakes. But yeah, their mistake is coming out during rush hour time, and they ain't rushing. That's why it's called rush hour. Mushmallow Moose. I forgot what cartoon that was. It says yield. You ain't got to stop all the way, buddy. Yeah, they getting on my nerve. How can I get around your monkey tail? And they driving a Prius. That's what I wanted to drive. I think them Priuses get like 50 miles to the gallon. Tell me that ain't sexy in today's times. Very. Why would you leave your door open, you clown? Like, sometimes people do some of the dumbest stuff. His door is open while he's on the side of the road picking stuff, but he didn't pull far enough over in the shoulder, so his door is open in the pathway of where people are driving. Mind your business, Kimberly, really, mind your business. But anyway, I'm trying to remember, because I feel like last night I said some stuff, and right before I went to sleep, listen, I went to sleep right about the time my head hit the pillow. I felt 2 pieces of bacon that I was just so determined to have, brushed my teeth, laid down, and I'm sure I said my prayers. I don't remember saying my prayers. I wasn't on my knees for that one. I was like, Lord, forgive me. You know my heart. I was tired. I crawled in that bed, said my prayers, I believe, and then went to sleep. But I was trying to think of some stuff that I had said in my video when I was talking about KCPD and all that stuff and things. That was one of them. One of the things I told y'all was that the person, when that cop inappropriately touched me, really, we can't even say search, because I know what a search looks like, and that wasn't that. But the guy I was with was engaged in illegal activity, not at that time. And he never carried weight or anything. No work was ever in his car. So, I mean, he was affiliated with. My thing is this. He never told me he committed the crime either. But, I kind of put 2 and 2 together, because here's my thing. I feel like I need a little air. Let's turn that on. But I feel like people don't continuously associate with people who are engaged in illegal activity, who are engaged in immoral activity, who are engaged in activity of which they don't approve. They don't do that year after year or continually, right? So he hung out with people who were engaged. He never told me he was actually engaged himself, but I'm pretty sure. birds of a feather, as they say. That's why the more stuff that comes out about a certain person in the White House, the more I'm like, listen, people do not associate. That's why even when somebody get out of jail, a known felon can't do what? Hang out with other known felons, because we know that y'all are in activities together. But that being said, that's why I really stopped. That and the fact that I had my daughter. But that's why I stopped hanging out with people like that, because I was like, I don't want to be associated with that. I'm not doing that. So why is that okay for me to associate? And I could also see what it was doing to my community. And I was like, yeah. And that wasn't the only girl. She done had a life. That's not the only kind of criminal activity. I've hung out with bank robbers. The list goes on and on. But there were also times where cops were pulling me over for driving nice vehicles that were legally, gainfully gotten. I've also dated attorney. I went from one extreme to the other. Child, not only did I date the illegals, but I dated attorney. Well, I mean, it wasn't too far off the mark, because he was a defense attorney. Actually, both of them were defense attorneys. So I've dated a couple of attorneys, but I dated a sheriff. Yeah, I knew that wasn't going nowhere, because where could I take him? I mean, I was not a part of that life. Most of the people I knew were no longer a part of that life. But you're not going to bring the whole sheriff into a party and, everybody feel comfortable, because, again, most of the people I knew, it was still a couple. And then when you came to the party, it might have been some illegal air quality happening as a result of what they were engaging in. Well, I mean, weed's legal now, but back then, not so much. I never hung out with people who did more. And there's no offense to that. I'm trying to think just to be sure. That's why my face is screwed up. I'm trying to remember. But the people I knew who used drugs, they used drugs for their benefit. They didn't so much as use them for their personal intake. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, girl, it's a lot that goes on in the world. I don't be understanding people who so harshly judge people who have used drugs, because life's hard. Most of the people I know who use drugs came from a circumstance and a background that I don't know if I would have wanted to deal with it sober. I've had my experiences and stuff, but some of the things that I know, a vast majority, like, I'll never forget, I was in a car. I'm sitting in a car of 5 women, 5. And of us 5 women from different cities, different backgrounds, different levels of finances, father in the home, not in the home, all of that. Out of all 5 of us, there was exactly 1 who had not been sexually molested as a child. That's a problem. I don't think the national data is as accurate as it ought to be when it talks about that. So, yeah, if you're one of them people that, I might have done me some weed, but at least I never did crack, or I never did coke, or I don't judge that so harshly. 9 times out of 10, I just don't know happy people who just say, you know what? I think I'm going to go smoke crack. I'm sure it has happened, but not too often. So let's not be too judgmental of that. That's why I try not to judge my parents. I judge my parents for being lousy before I judge them for doing drugs. I've had some lousy parents, but I've also had some who were just ignorant. They didn't know. And I don't mean ignorant in a put down way. You don't know what you don't know until you find out. So I've had some parents with that. They don't know to be involved in their kid's life, or maybe they themselves don't read as well and they're embarrassed about that. So they don't read stories to their kid. But it's like, you know what? You can still put a library in the house. You can still, practice that book until you read it smoothly. Like, me and a parent had a real long and engaging talk at a parent-teacher conference. It was some tears slung and all of that. But I promise you, immediately after that, she did much better, because even my parents who don't do well with their kids, they're not doing it because they don't love their kids. They absolutely do. They'll be smiling in their mugshots like any other parent. They just don't know better. So, I don't judge them too much for that either. But just being flat out lousy, you know better. You coming in, your hair is did, and your son looked like who shot John and didn't bother to bury him. No, Yeah, I judge for that. All right, y'all. So it is after work now, Went by Cooper's Hawk Winery, had a tasting. Only one of my girlfriends was able to show up. My younger bestie wasn't, and that's okay. But we had a good time. We talked a lot, we drank a lot. The sommelier that we had this time, to me, a huge part of what makes a good time at the winery definitely is the company you keep. I mean, that goes without saying, right? But it's also going to be the knowledge of the sommelier, the conversation of the sommelier. And we had one that, girl, I think we knew more than she knew. I mean, it makes sense that we would, because we've been there drinking enough wine, enough terms, but nonetheless, like, she wasn't conversational, she wasn't informational, she was not Chanel. We just gonna say that. She certainly wasn't sensational. So she was none of the Chanels. But, it is what it is and it be what it be. So that was a decent enough time. And now I've got enough time. Ironically enough, usually when this girlfriend and I get together, girl, we can burn through like 4 hours. We've gone to lunch 4 hours, dinner 4 hours, 4 going on 5 hours really for dinner. Something about that late hour. But, I guess we know we got to bounce up, get up and go to work tomorrow. So we ended this kind of early enough for me to do a little pop in at my mother's and see how things are going there. I was going to say this is not usually a time when I go, but I mean, I guess it could be because it's after work sometime later. Usually if I go after work, I go immediately after work. And right now it's after 8. As you can see, the sun is setting. So, like I said before, I like to pop in. I don't usually show y'all this part of my life. I just I keep things pretty well compartmentalized. But since we're doing Vita and y'all are seeing the days in and days out, y'all get to see this too. But it should be good. Hopefully I have a good visit with Mom. But I will say, the setting of the sun is reminding me of her sundowning. And for people who are dealing with loved ones who have Alzheimer's, you very well know about sundowning. It's something about, as the day progresses, the memories get worse, the hallucinations increase and things like that. So it's a term called sundowning. So we shall see what this visit is like. Hopefully it's a good one, but time tells all.
These are dreams.